Looks like we're working to me. Cool. Alright, so what do we got today? I don't know what you call a group of squirrels. A cavalcade, a gang, a horde. But I got a whole bunch of squirrels. Ranging from little rogues with their stabby daggers to mounted Dachshund cavalry with glorious knights on them, to I don't know, a ranger. This guy could maybe be a barbarian or a paladin or cleric, even maybe with the bigger two-hand. Got a whole bunch of squirrels. So these are for some coworkers. Squirrel thing is kind of a inside joke. I had originally printed them a whole bunch of mice because our office has mice, and I thought it was funny. They were all going to get a whole bunch of mice adventurers. Ugh! However, hello! The mice are a lot freaking smaller. So if we look at, let's say, this knight here versus the mouse knight. Mouse knight's a lot freaking smaller with a lot tinier detail. And I was like, I don't think if this is the first mini they've ever painted, they're going to have a good time painting that little mouse. So I kept one on the base just for the fun of it. And then I printed them out a whole bunch of these little squirrels. There's a whole bunch of fun things in here, right? Like maybe this guy could be a paladin. And I just primed him brown. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Some of them are like on dynamic elements, like little trees and stuff, which is pretty cool. So these are all from Goon Master. There's a couple different Dachshund cavalries in there. Goon Master makes just amazing, absolutely amazing little minis. I love them to pieces. I cannot recommend Goon Master enough. I've subscribed to them for absolutely forever because they make phenomenal minis that are replacements for burrows and badgers. So like if you wanted to play burrows and badgers, and you wanted a squirrel character, like that guy's just killer for it, right? Just so good. I don't have anyone that wants to play burrows and badgers, but if you did, these would be great, right? So what I'm going to do is when I give them this set of minis, I'm going to give them one that's all painted up as like an example. So I'm going to paint one of them up. Now I have a couple of duplicates because I had to do 2 print runs with these because my printer was kind of unbalanced after printing a giant undead snake who I then dropped and broke into like 15 pieces, and he's still re-gluing because that's his life. But I've got a couple duplicates, so I'm going to do one of these guys here with the torches because I think painting the torch is going to be kind of fun. So we're going to do that one, I think. And I'm going to put the rest of these guys in a little box to give to my coworkers. I'm just going to load them up in a box, and they'll go to my coworkers. And they'll have a whole bunch of little squirrel characters to pick. Should be fun. And we'll do one on camera. Alright. Toss them off to the side for now. And they all fall over, of course they do. Alright. So first things first. Anytime we're going to paint a mini that we don't know a whole lot about. Getting some mega beard cam. Let's there we go. So we get less beard cam. We gotta kind of look at it, see what we got. So what do we got for our squirrel? Well, we've got a whole bunch of armor for this guy. He's got some armor. He's got some squirrel bits here. So we got some fur. We got an eye, another eye. We got a little squirrel nose. I don't think squirrel noses are different colors. And then we have, it's probably some clothes of some kind in there. We got a hand. And we have his sconce thing here. I don't know what this is called, the torch. And it looks like it's got some kind of like shaft and then maybe some metal bits and the fire. And then this could be cloth. And then we same thing over here, hand, sword. Handle of the sword. All right, hand again. A little bit of what could be like cloth in there. Cloth in there. Cloth up under his butt. All right, so we've got a little bit of a mix of like cloth and armor and flesh or fur. All right, but no like crazy pouches. No, no like skulls on robes, no anything like crazy super details like that, right? So really we need a cloth color, we need an armor color, we need a fur color, and then we need some other colors for bits and bobs, but nothing like super crazy. He's not wearing like any kind of like webbing or rigging or, you know, super detailed filigree in his armor or anything like that. So yeah. So I want to paint this squirrel purple because I think that's fun. I'm in the mood for a purple squirrel. And I got this super cool purple right here that I just caught out of the corner of my eye. And to be completely honest, when I was doing my doing the unboxing for the Northern Alliance guys, and I showed off that big bear that I'm going to use as the frost giant. Yeah, there he is. I painted him up basically like a big Pokemon. So yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that. So the squirrel's going to be purple. So we're going to use blue violet for model color because I just saw that out of the corner of my eye and that looked really fun. So and then we can have a fun little juxtaposition between our bright purple squirrel, and we'll give him really like shitty knackered like Dark Souls armor. That'll be really fun. We can do a bunch of washes and dry brushing and stuff on it. It'll be pretty cool. And we can do the stippling beat up armor thing that I did on all my Fallout guys that I'm really happy with. So we'll get to do a couple different techniques on the Squirrel Boy, which will be fun. I'll just pop all my doodads out of the poppets. The irony is I got this at work, so the irony of using it to paint this guy, super ironic, just saying. Yeah, they gave these out in little bags at work around Halloween time. I've been using it as my paint palette. My husband got me a really nice wet palette, but to be honest, I am like too dumb to use it. That's not true, but the way I paint is like super kind of like crazy scatterbrained. So like, I don't know. I feel too dumb to use it. Alright, let me move so I don't get so much beard cam. I'm trying to like sit a little bit behind the camera now So it's like, I felt like I was just like pure beard cam there for a while, so trying to be less beard cam. I need to hook up that cool head camera my husband got me. That thing is really neat. Alright, so what are we going to do? We're just going to get some base coats down. These Vallejo pots are pretty thin already, so we're not going to bother thinning or anything. Going to get some base coats down. Alright. And if I get some on the armor, that's fine, but I'm going to try not to. Because I actually want to keep the armor brown. Because how we're going to base coat the armor, we're actually just going to stipple on. We're going to use that brown as our base coat for the armor. And we should wind up with this really bright, like, crazy, like, fursona colored squirrel and, like, really nasty, like, Dark Souls armor. And I think that's a fun juxtaposition. Also, blue-violet's a fucking beautiful color for purple. Holy shit. Wow. God, I really need to use this color more often. But yeah, you can see they still have some little nubs on their tail, right? I didn't like super mega clean those off because I wasn't sure if they were supposed to be little bits of fur or if they were residuals from the connections from the what are they called? The things that hold them on. I'm missing the word here. The sprue, like, supports. I kind of assumed they were little bits of fur because there is a whole ton of little texture in that tail, right? Even on the face, you can see there's tons of detail, right? When things are primed dark like this, it's really hard to see the detail until you start to paint it. Till you really start to like get in there and brighten it and pull it out, you know. Yeah, that purple's gonna be fun. So what we'll end up doing is we'll do the purple base coat, right? And then we'll do things like pick out his eyes and stuff like that, right? And then for the purple we'll do washes, and then we'll do, after the washes dry, because squirrels I think have like a white, like under the chin, I think, right? Like their belly and stuff is white, right? Maybe we'll look that up. Maybe that's what we'll do. But I think they have like a white, so maybe we'll do some kind of like off-white or like bone gray or like bone white kind of thing. Maybe we'll do that, and then we'll do we'll like stipple it along like where he like where it would be, kind of like underneath his chin and stuff after the washes. Alright, let's do his feetsies. But yeah, that should be really fun with him being purple and then the armor being kind of knackered. So I think if you want the armor to look really cool, we'll keep the brown, and then we'll stipple black onto it. We'll have him be in like black armor. We'll kind of spottily stipple it on, and then we will do kind of like a edge highlighting, like pseudo dry brush of silver hit the whole thing with a wash, and then we'll do that same kind of like edge highlighting, pseudo dry brush of silver again after the wash. And it should produce a nice effect where we have kind of like old chips and then new chips. I need old chips and new chips. That should look pretty good. After, so yeah, should be pretty good. So before we do our wash, we need to make sure we do the cloth. So we're just gonna hit the cloth with the same wash. There we go. It's gonna get his little hands. Yeah, you can see there's a bunch of detail in this money, but not like a crazy amount. This really is a pretty damn good starter mini, right? Like the one thing I would say that's not super good about these being starter minis is the tail does obscure detail. Like between the body and the body and the tail, there is sort of like a blank space that does obscure detail. But I mean, this guy's almost as tall as a goddamn space marine, right? So it's pretty great, to be honest. Lots of nice big flat panels. Okay, cool. Oh. There we go. There's our little squirrel man. There he is, coming along. Squirrel-tastic. Alright, let's I guess let's do the stippling next. Do I have coal black over here? I do. I really love these Pro Acryl paints. I wish their tops weren't so dumb. Like, I wish they had regular dropper bottle tops, but I really love these paints. For like the money, the quantity you get is fantastic, and like the consistency of the paint is exactly what I want. Also, their washes are perfect. Like, straight up just perfect. Their washes are everything I want out of a wash. Alright, do I have an old shitty knackered brush? What are you? You're a decent brush. I gotta use the Cheez-Its that I use to lure the dog in, so he sits with me and pretends he likes me. Let's see. Neither of those are really good. What about you? You'll do. I'll use you. Yeah, stippling kills brushes. Like, straight up, it just murks and murders the point on brushes. So never use a good brush for it. You want something that looks like that. And that looks terrible. That looks so terrible, we're actually going to cut it down a little before we even use it. We're going to use our old Kotobukiya nippers to trim it down a little. I got these at New York Comic Con. I bought these when I was there with my husband on our anniversary. They are probably way too expensive, but they have served me really well as my like hardcore badass I need to clip something I don't want to clip with my God Hands nippers. They have served me very well for these like last 5 years. These have been like my like M4 Sherman of nippers. They've been really good for that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, it looks... When I say pretty good, this looks like fucking nightmare. And you shouldn't use this brush for anything except for what I'm about to use it for. Because it looks like fucking terrible. But, you know, just saying. Actually, can we split that piece off too? There we go. Yeah, see how the base is all covered in paint. Right, like this brush is probably older than those nippers, and this brush was legitimately like probably $1 from Walmart, so I don't mind cutting it apart like that. Don't do that with nice brushes, kids. Go soak them and like get brush cleaner and all that stuff. Alright, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to get in here and I'm going to stipple. Alright? Now what I want to do is I want to just kind of lightly hit all over. Make it look kind of chipped and shitty. I do not want to basically full paint everything here. That's not my goal. My goal is to make this look kind of knackered. Sorry, you guys are getting a whole bunch of beard cam there. Is to make this look kind of knackered and nasty. See? Just like that. Yep, just kind of stippling it on. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to hit this with that fine brush again and pick out any specific areas that I want to make sure that I hit, right? Like any specific edges or anything that I want to absolutely make sure I have paint on. But honestly, I don't know if there's going to be any of those, but sort of my goal here is just to make sure that we hit kind of everything kind of as it stands. All right, there we go. Get the inside of the arm there. His knackered black armor, because he is Fluffbow, Destroyer of Worlds, or something. And he should be named like Cuddle Master, or something like that. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we got all that stippled on. Missed a couple spots. Yeah, we'll go back to the stipple brush. See, like there, see that big slice there in the armor there. Don't like. I definitely don't want at full coverage, but I don't want areas that it's like pretty clear that I just missed them. You know. Like up there in the neck, that's another one. There we go. Up down there, up on the back of the arm there, there's one other one. It's just clear I just missed that as well. Yeah. Oh, there we are. All right, cool. Cool. Okay, sweet. All right. So we're going to let that dry for a sec. While that dries, I'm actually going to work on the torch next. Because painting the torch is going to be kind of weird. Because of how it's designed. I was looking at it while I was stippling. I know I should have probably been fully focused on the stippling, but I kind of got looking at the torch. It's that second where I went quiet there. I was looking at the torch, thinking about how to paint it. See how like you can see the areas down in the sconce there, right? So those should probably be painted. That would probably be okay if you just did it in all like metal, and then just did the parts coming out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to paint the whole thing in yellow to start, and then I'm going to paint the torch. Then I'm going to paint the metal bits after. And it should leave us with the torch colors left over. And it should look pretty cool. I could do like OSL on the torch where it's like throwing light. But honestly, I fucking hate OSL. I think it looks like shit. I'm sorry everyone that likes OSL, and I know some people really like painting OSL, but I think it looks like crap. And even if you're a like god tier painter, and you know, I know you do a great job. I'm not saying you don't. I still think OSL looks like shit. Like even if you are like the best painter in the world, I think OSL looks like shit. I'm sorry. All right, so we'll just touch that up for now. We need to do his clothes. What color do I want to do his clothes? I kind of want to do them in like a khaki. I don't know if I have a lot of khaki paint left. Let's see. Don't have a ton of paint in here. I really need a new khaki. They sell out of this paint so much at the local store that sells these. Because this paint is just phenomenal. This is khaki from Vallejo Game Color. This is like one of the best paints out of every paint line. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna go in there. We're gonna pick out some of his clothes. All right, and this is just gonna make some definition between the armor and the clothes. That's all this is doing. Now, if you were painting one of the other ones, like say the Ranger or something, where you don't have that much armor, right? You would probably start with one of these colors. I mean, really, if you really wanted to paint this easier, you could start with this. You could start with the clothes color and then paint up to the armor color, because it's always easier to paint like you're getting dressed, right? And you don't get dressed by putting on your pants and then your underwear. You get dressed by putting on your underwear and then your pants. You know, and essentially here I've put on my pants and then my underwear, and it's now making my life harder. That's okay. We can figure it out. I believe in us. This is going to be pretty bright, especially against the dark armor. Once we hit the whole thing with a wash, it should bring it down. And if you are having trouble with the hands on minis like this, you could paint the hands as gloves. So like just paint the hands the same color as this cloth. But the nice thing about the hands here is that if you are going to do a wacky color for your squirrel, or like whatever kind of creature you're painting like this, the hands, they tie the crazy color out all the way into the model, which is really nice. I'm sorry, you're getting nothing but beard cam there. That's terrible. Yeah, I was looking at the Dungeons and Lasers stuff last night. They have a whole range of like adventuring companion animals that are really neat. Where'd you go, Pop? No, doesn't want to hang out. That's fine. And it got me thinking about these guys. Oh, there we go. These guys and having trouble with the focus. It got me thinking about painting like a whole D&D party of animals and stuff. And just like, I think there was a thing called like, I think Dungeons and Doggos. I think that had I think I remember seeing it at other realms. There's a bunch of just like D&D dog, and then I think there was like a cat version too. Just get like a bunch of like adventuring cats and dogs. It's kind of cool. And if you had little kids, it would be amazing. Like, to try to get them into roleplay stuff that way. Really good for that. Okay, let's see. Where do we want to clean up? There between the leg, there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, because the when we hit him with the wash, this color is going to get brought down pretty heavily when we hit the armor with the wash. Now, things that are also going to get hit with the wash are going to be like the weapons and stuff. So I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to let that dry for a minute. Maybe we're going to do the skin. I didn't really plan out the order of operations very well in this model. Because lots of times when you start a color or you start a model, you can stop working on it in certain spots and go work on something else. But alright. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's paint his eyes. I'm going to use dark metal from Vallejo. I think you could do any black here. Whoa, that was a lot. Jesus Christ. A ton just came out there. I think you could use any black, right? Because squirrels have black eyes, right? Alright, this is going to need to dry for a second. So we're going to let that dry for a second. And while that dries, I'm going to use some more of this black that just poured out. We're going to paint it on some of the marine guns really quick, just because a ton of it came out. Jesus. Yeah, I think squirrels have black eyes, so. Let's see. This guy's got a shotgun. That would be black. But yeah, just think about order of operations. So I think we'll do the black wash next. Or no, we'll do like a purple wash next, and then while that dries, we'll do the rest of his gear. And then when his gear is dry, we can hit that with a wash. And then when that is dry, we can do the rest of his weird colors. And then when that is dry, we can do the rest of his like weathering effects and stuff. And then he should be all done after that. Yeah, if I had thought about his order of operations a little better, I probably could have done it a little smarter, but oh well. We're in no rush. It's a nice lazy Sunday. It's a nice, cool, relaxing day here in Hawaii. I can't hear shit. I got no plans for today. I think my only plan is I might go to West Side Comics and Games. My husband's having a migraine. I was running out to the Long's Drugs last night to get him medication. It's at midnight. So I got no plans for today. Alright, what purple wash do we want to use? Let me think. Army Painter is a purple wash I have that I never use. Do we want to use that? Let's use the Army Painter one. I don't ever use it. I almost always use the let's use the GW one, because I know that one doesn't take forever to dry. You know? Let's use the GW one. Let me find it. Give me one sec. Boop boop. I literally just used it like a day ago. Where the hell did I put it? There it is. Yeah, I know this one doesn't take like a century to dry and does a pretty good job, so we'll use this one. So this is Dragon Shaft Nightshade. It's a pretty good purple wash. It's a pretty dark purple wash. But it's just going to give us a little bit more definition in the purple. So what it's going to do is it's going to just go and sit in the dark areas essentially. And it is going to stain all of the purple a little bit, but that's okay. All right, we're not super sold on this being a specific purple color. Like, I'm okay if it gets a little darker, that's fine. You know, I am okay with that. And the nice thing about using washes, right, is they're going to add some surface modulation to the color, which is really nice. What that means is that the color is slightly different here and there. It just visually makes it more interesting to look at. Surface modulation is something you kind of always want in your models. No, it's something that when you start painting, you don't ever really have to worry about. It's something that you kind of want later on from a modeler perspective. So I'm just going to put some on and kind of move it around. Then I'm going to go back and put a little bit more in the face because I want a little bit more on the dark recesses of the face. So I'm probably not going to highlight this model. So I just want the wash to do a little bit of work for me. There we go. All right, I'm going to close that up, move it to the side, and now we are going to pick out the rest of our details. Now, let's do that fire. Ugh. It's fire. That's fine. Bonk. This is just bold pyroly red. And a dry brush. Bonk bonk. Gonna knock a little bit off. Alright, I'm just gonna dry brush the red. Nothing crazy. Alright. Gonna get the dog hair out of my dry brush. Maybe. Please, dog hair. Thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna dry brush it. Alright, now I'm going to put a ton of work into the fire. Just a little bit. And there we go. Nice and simple. Little fire. Okay. Now, we need ourselves a silver of some kind. Or metal adjacent color is kind of like what I want. There we go. Chainmail will do. Chainmail is a good color. So let me... Bonk. Pull a little bit of that out. And we're going to start picking colors out. Now, sure we're not getting all beard cam. I'm just going to start picking bits and bobs out. So I mentioned going to a specific place. Living on Hawaii, the place I mentioned is in Oahu, middle of the island. They're having their anniversary sale. I told myself I wasn't going to buy anything until my birthday, but I kind of want to go and walk around. My eardrum is still ruptured, and I've been kind of in a funk all weekend, so I thought it would do me some good. My husband's having a migraine, so I will probably let him be. And he'll be like, no, it's okay. I can still play game. And I'll be like, yeah, it's okay. I know you'll say that you can, and I appreciate that, but I will probably let you be. Then maybe I can get a Shamrock Shakes on the way back. Because apparently it's St. Paddy's Day, which I did not know. I only found out because my mom texted me and told me. Shoop, shoop, shoop. There we go. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get really close to this. So I apologize if there's going to be some beard cam. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here and essentially pick out little bits of the armor in areas where it would be kind of scuffed and chewed up and kind of dinged up and worn and kind of beat up. Essentially all the little edges and nicks and stuff like that. This is also a good time for me to clean up any of the areas where I had kind of like overpainted. Right, this is a good time for me to kind of do my cleanup in another step. Right, I can save myself some cleanup hassle just by basically just painting them a different color now. Right, like do you see that area there at the base of the neck there where it's purple? Yep, that purple area just became a nick instead. And job done. Now I don't have to worry about it. Alright. So just going to make the armor look kind of beat up and knackered. And this is going to really stand out right now. You can see I'm kind of doing like a mix of highlighting and a mix of essentially like dry brushing, right, at the back of my brush. This is going to really, really stand out right now. But after I hit this area with washes, that standing out is going to disappear. And it's going to become way more muted. And then what's going to happen is we're going to come back in and pick out like half these areas again. And it should look really cool. Right, and then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to pick out the tines on the flame sconce, flame thing, flame holder. All right. All right, and any ones we missed, that's fine. All right, that's just, that area was too hot to handle for any ones that we miss. Yeah, but you can see how you can now see the flame like in between the sconce pieces and how much nicer that looks than if we had just painted the whole thing, right? And that comes along just entirely from the process. That's entirely from the process. Like if we had just like those like areas between are so much more apparent now because of how we did it. All right. Let's see. We should probably do some kind of wood color for this. So let's do some kind of wood color. Because you can see the area in his palm. I painted that purple by accident. So we should do some kind of wood color. So let me find a wood color. Give me a sec. I don't really like using like one-off colors, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, then we'll give this a sec to dry, and we'll look up squirrels after this. Boo, boo, boo. Do, do, do. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. Now let me Google some squirrels. And we can see Wapa. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, let's look at this guy. All right, so he's got different colored hands, different colored face. We're not doing that. He has white here, and part of his tail is white. Okay. If anyone's curious why he doesn't have squirrels. So I legitimately have not seen a squirrel in like 5 years. Alright, so there isn't really a lot of white content in the tail. Alright, so we'll just paint like this area white, like under his chin. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Alright, and we'll do that in kind of like a little bit of a stipply kind of thing. We'll do it in Stone Golem. I like Stone Golem a lot. Stone Golem is kind of a soft gray white. It almost has a little bit of a blue to it. I like it a lot. Alright, so we'll just... And then I really don't want to strand this color just here, so we'll figure out something else to paint this color too. Maybe one of his ears or something. You know, it kind of just looks like he has a beard if I don't paint his mouth in this. So we're going to just paint his whole muzzle in this. And then we'll just figure out another wash to fill his muzzle in with. Because otherwise it just looks like he has a weird like milk mustache, and that's strange. So we're not going to do that. He is like bright Persona color, so it's probably not actually milk, but you know what I mean. Alright, so let's paint one of his toes. The white, that's cool. That'll help tie the white down. He does have little claws on his toes we could paint, but we're not going to do that because that looks like a pain in the ass. Right, paint one of his toes that color, and then we'll paint one of his ears that color too. There we go. Right, I'll do like the tip of one of his ears. I guess we could do like the tip of both of his ears. That might look pretty cool, to be honest. Yeah, we'll do the tip of one ear. That gives him a little bit of personality. Yeah, I like that. Alright, and then we'll have to find another wash to hit his muzzle with, because, yeah, otherwise he had that weird quote-unquote milk mustache, and that was strange. Alright, so we'll give that a minute, and then we'll hit that with a different wash. Yeah, let's do a different toe on the other foot, so it doesn't look like I just screwed up. This looks like it's intentional. There we go. And now let's hit all of his armor with a brown wash. Yay! Proacryl brown wash, the best brown wash that ever existed. I'm not even joking, this stuff is amazing. This stuff is how I always wanted brown wash to work. Huzzah! Alright, now we're basically just going to slather this on everything that isn't purple squirrel. That's a weird qualifier for today, but that is the qualifier for the day. If does not equal purple squirrel, don't want to get it on his hand, apply brown wash. Nice. Very nice. Alright. I guess we could dot in his mouth with black wash. I guess, we probably could do it with the brown wash if I did it really carefully. Let me try. Worst case, I have that white still out. I could do that again. Yeah, that works. I don't know if his eyes are reading well enough, to be honest. I don't think they are. Can we get a little more of that metallic out, maybe? And hit him again, maybe? Well, we're going to hang out for a minute or two while we wait for our squirrel boy here to dry, as you stare at my hand and not the squirrel. There he is. It's coming along pretty darn good, I think. And then we'll hit the chips on his armor again. Honestly, I don't know if we actually need to. They actually still stand out pretty good, to be honest. I actually don't think we need to hit those again. Yeah, they still stand out pretty darn good. I think I'm pretty happy with those. Yeah. Yeah, I think let's paint up his base black. And I think I'm pretty happy with our squirrel boy. In total. Yeah, definitely a really fun little mini. To be honest, I've been subscribed to Goonmaster forever. This is the first time I've ever painted one of their minis. They're really fun to paint, though. Really, really good stuff. Would highly recommend them from like a 3D printing perspective. They printed really good. I did mention having a print failure in the beginning. That was not in any way, shape, or form due to Goonmaster. That was due to me and the printer bed being super unaligned. Because I had printed a massive 1 foot tall zombie snake on it before and did not realign it since printing the massive 1 foot tall zombie snake. Like I should have. So yeah, really cannot recommend enough. These guys were from the... All their names have some kind of... All the Goonmaster names have some kind of like silly alliteration. They're like from the Venturing Squirrels or something. I don't know. They all have some kind of silly alliteration. I don't remember the name of this one. Going to use up the rest of the black while I got it, and plus his base needs to dry for a minute. But yeah, that was actually a really fun mini to paint. pretty darn cool. And to be honest, I think that's a really good mini for a first time painting mini. There's a nice bit of detail on it, but not really like too much, you know? You're not doing like crazy like skulls and bones hanging from ropes and, you know, little maggots and festering wounds and all that like crazy shit. Like it's just like it's nice, good, solid detail. Yeah, and there he is in total. There's our little bright purple furry adventurer, ready to, I don't know, do whatever the hell my coworker's adventure is gonna do. Try not to grab the base because it's still wet. Everything on him is still slightly wet. But yeah, there he is, all done up in his fun juxtaposition of like crazy character and super knackered black evil armor. Pretty cool. But yeah, so I hope my coworkers enjoy painting the others, and I hope they enjoy having a finished model to paint. It should be a good time. There's some other really cool models in here. Did any of them fall out? No. There's some other really cool ones in here for them to paint, right? Because that's the finished one. But there's Dachshund Cavalry. There's a Paladin or a Cleric. There's a Ranger. There's a couple duplicates because, like I said, I did have to do the painting twice. There's a Rogue. There's a different Rogue. It's a different Dachshund Cavalry. There's this warrior who has a broken sword. The sword broke when he fell, but I thought it could make a cool character with the broken sword, to be honest. There's a paladin or a warrior or a cleric. There's another dupe. There's a knight. There's a different kind of knight or paladin. There's the guy I just painted. There's another rogue or a ranger or something. So yeah. So in an hour, there we go. What we started with versus what we ended with. Right there for you. Pretty darn cool. Pretty happy with that. So we'll go ahead and we will call it there. And I hope my coworkers enjoy their squirrels. But I'm going to call it and enjoy the rest of my nice, cool Hawaii Sunday. But I am going to have a good one, and I hope you guys do too. And I hope you keep on keeping on.